Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the March 25th Raw review. Now, I wish to say ahead of time, I'm still sick, so I'm doing my best to work with what I got. I hope you'll be understanding. If you saw my SmackDown review, which was very late, I'm not myself. So, let's see what we got. Now, this was a very unusual Raw, because it was actually pretty good. A lot of stuff on this show was done very well, and it's leading into something. And a few things that just I predicted many months ago, and I'm hoping won't happen, but probably will happen. Let's first go into the Caitlyn AJ. I want to get this over with quickly. I said at least 4 or 3 months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I might be wrong about the time, but I did say there was a possibility, and I'd hoped this wouldn't happen, but it looks like it would. AJ and Caitlyn will have a match at WrestleMania for the Divas Championship. Now, what did we get? We got a segment with Hell No versus the Primetime Players. We also got a segment with Dolph versus Chris Jericho. What did we get here? We got an intertangling of feuds here. I believe that what was going to happen with Hell No, Dolph, and Biggie Langston might actually happen. I said they would become a possible tag team, and they have. I said they may actually go to WrestleMania for the championship, and now they have. Now, I don't really have that much of an issue with having Dolph and Biggie Langston going for the title. The thing that I worry about with Dolph is that he is not going to get the world championship. And if he does, it's going to be very brief. And we just went through all this with Dolph for nothing. They could have put the Money in the Bank they could have put the Money in the Bank on someone else. Right now, I'm going to say the Chris Jericho and Dolph match was very short, which led later into the Hell No match with Primetime Players with Biggie and Dolph watching briefly. Now, going into that, you have the Caitlyn segment with Hell No, basically telling both of these guys, you both are still horny for her, get a life. There's no point in this, for the simple fact she's a lunatic that doesn't give a shit about anybody. That sounds like most women, not all women. And that also covers for most men. What did we get? We got Caitlyn getting her head hammered into a sink. And then later, we get the match between Caitlyn and AJ. I know it sounded like I was talking about everything else, but this is leading into it. What do we get with this match? One, I have to say that I'm not really a big fan of Caitlyn. She is cute, but I was never really a big fan of her. And I don't think I ever will be a fan because she's never been built properly. But seeing that Caitlyn had to job, technically, to an AJ, you serious? That fills me with dread. For the simple reason is that they have been teasing a Caitlyn-Layla feud. Now, I'm hoping the Caitlyn-Layla feud will go on. But after seeing this, I don't believe so. I do believe there's going to be a Layla and AJ match that will exonerate AJ to going into WrestleMania. I really hope this does not happen. Please, anyone in the WWE, don't do this. We were oversaturated by AJ and everything that went with Daniel Bryan, went with Kane, went with John Cena. It was too much, particularly with CM Punk and with Daniel Bryan. It was too much. I do not want to see this woman as Divas Champion because unlike Caitlyn, unlike Layla, unlike Beth Phoenix, I believe they'll actually feature her because she will be with Dolph and she will be Biggie Langston. I'm hoping, please, this does not happen. But do I believe so? No, I really believe that in the next couple of shows, possibly on SmackDown, they may actually have a Caitlyn watching a Layla an AJ match, and AJ will win. And then they're going to have the final bits before WrestleMania 29. Do I believe this could be on the pre-show? I don't know. I'm going to be watching. So I'm going to leave it at that. Please, if anyone believes that this is going to be a terrible match, tell me down below. I don't want to see this match. Now, since we were talking about Dolph and Chris Jericho, that's what we're going to lead into. The Dolph and Chris Jericho match. It was very short. It didn't mean anything. Yes, Dolph had the job, which is stupid. They could have used someone else. But this is about what happened earlier that night. I said many months before, the way they're teasing Fandango, that he was going to have a WrestleMania match. And look at what we got here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a WrestleMania match for Fandango with Y2J, baby. Sorry, I'm still very sick. Bad nasal infection that's messing with my throat, baby. Excuse me. But this is what I said will happen. We got a fight in the early parts of the show with a Fandango, with a Chris Jericho. Then when the Dolph and Chris match happened, Chris gets laid out by Biggie Langston. Big Ed, a big man. Big man. Knocked his shit out. And then what do we get? I'm calling this officially now. This is what I'm calling it. Just like with Antonio Fazzaro, which I'll be mentioning in a minute. Antonio's uppercut of destruction. I am calling the leg drop for Fandango. Sorry, I'm really sick. Woo! The flamingo leg drop. Flying from the top turnbuckle onto his head. The flamingo leg drop will now be mentioned in my Raw reviews anytime that Fandango or Fandango, I'm saying it with a little bit of an accent, ladies and gentlemen, because I can, will be on the show of SmackDown and Raw. I'm going to say mainly Raw. I think they're going to promote him more on Raw than on SmackDown. But he will be seen on SmackDown, and I will still say the flamingo leg drop. Got that from Las Vegas. I always wanted to go to Flamingo. Never did. But anyway, let's move on. Ooh, that came off. I'm going to say, I feel sorry for the primetime players. Even though I did mention already that they were nailed by pretty much Hell No, it's very upsetting. Titus O'Neil is a great talent. Darren Young, he has potential, but they really need to repackage him. I feel sorry to get squashed so much. Really. They had an opportunity months ago. Even with the loss of AW, they could have had a chance, but they didn't. So the next match I'm bringing up is ADR versus Antonio Fazzaro. I still don't know what that means. If it's part of rugby, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody from England knows what it is, or from Switzerland, leave a comment below, because I still don't know what that means. But really, what do we get? A decent match. I was actually quite pleased with it. They got some good chemistry. But I didn't believe he wasn't going to job. But technically, he didn't. And did. What did we get? We got a Ricardo Rodriguez in a foot, like one of those foot casts. Not a regular cast for your foot, but one of those support casts that you wear over your foot if you break it. And you already got a, like a cast already. Some people wear it, some people don't. It depends. But seeing them doing this is a good thing. Then seeing Zed come out during part of the match between ADR and Antonio was very good. Seeing a Jack Swagger come from the side, grab that little chicken bone of a leg of Ricardo Rodriguez and try to break more of that shit was very good. Seeing the fight in the back where the fans are was great. Yeah, you got a trucker losing to that fight, but wasn't the point. Antonio won. This is what I've always said. Sometimes you really need the person who is the good guy, particularly in the WWE, must lose not so often. Must win not so often. So ADR has been winning constantly. Sometimes he has to lose. Of course, there are points where he shouldn't always lose. But to a U.S. champion, why does a U.S. champion must job? Actually, yes, he had the job technically afterward with the cross arm breaker. Yes, I understand. And it still worries me, and I said this in my SmackDown review. Very few people have seen it. But if you see that I say that Antonio has no match for WrestleMania, I'm worried they're going to give him a dark match. He deserves better than that. Maybe they'll structure somebody with him other than R-Truth. Please, no R-Truth. Please, no R-Truth. I'm begging for no R-Truth. And I'm saying it early because they may just do this because they have no one they can figure out to put with him because they haven't structured him properly. But seeing him not have to job officially was good. Technically, I figured he was going to do it. And that did upset me. Now, let's get to... Let's do this now. The Triple H segment, which actually was quite good. I'm going to say very early that I didn't really believe, and I still don't believe he's going to lose at WrestleMania. Because of the end of an era match. Really just didn't feel like anything. It didn't. Particularly what CM Punk said in the beginning of the show, which I'll get to in a little while. But really, do I believe that Triple H is going to lose this and actually quit? I don't believe so. It just doesn't feel like he's going to quit. In other words, he's going to lose the match and then he's not going to be wrestling anymore. It would make some sense in real life because he is being trained to take over the main parts of the company. We still don't know when that's going to happen. But eventually it's actually going to happen. Now he can still wrestle on and off while he's still the boss of the entire actual company itself, the corporation. But in actuality with this, unless they're really deciding to really do this and he really won't be coming back, I just don't believe it. Now, the technical jobbing of Wade Barrett when the thing was over, and I won't say it wasn't bad. It was a good segment with Triple H, but I just didn't believe it. But with Wade jobbing with his balls for a Triple H was a little bit of a surprise. And then right after, we got the Miz versus Wade match, which is going to lead into a WrestleMania match. I don't believe it's been announced yet. No, wait, it has been announced, I believe, on the website. I could be wrong. I'm sorry, I am quite sick still, so I've been trying to keep up with what's going on. But my question here is this. We've already seen Antonio with The Miz. Now we've seen Wade with The Miz. It's kind of, we've seen The Miz a lot. Do we want to see The Miz? Do we want to see this match, particularly that we just saw on TV? They're really not hyping this match up with only about roughly 13 days left. They really haven't hyped this match up. Like I said earlier, this is two guys who have rival movies that are out and could have really done something interesting with it a month or so ahead of time. But now that they've done it so short of a program with it, to leading into it, I don't even feel the hype for two stars that have made two movies that have actual real actors in it. It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like two regular wrestlers who've done something outside wrestling that really isn't that important. And they really haven't hyped it as much as they should on regular television. WWE app doesn't count, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube does not count. The shows on the internet don't count. On the A and B show, it does count. And it's been almost nothing. At one point, we had a Wade Barrett possible match with a Bo Dallas. Why couldn't they have done this with The Miz? Months ahead of time, but they didn't do it. So what do we get? A very weak IC Championship match going to WrestleMania. And do I want to see this match? A part of me doesn't. Now, I want to see The Miz win because I want to see him do something. But do I believe it's going to be a great match? It'll be an interestingly good match. They have good chemistry. But am I hyped for it? No, I'm not. I am a little better hyped for the next things that are coming up. Now, Ryback versus Mark Henry. Now, I'm going to say right now, I was very, very angry later seeing Mark Henry going up against two opponents. I was saying, oh shit, this is going to be good. Excuse me. I'm going like, this is going to be good, until I saw it's a fucking Usos. What the fuck? Two underutilized men who should be used. James and Jey Uso. And I did a video on them many months ago. I don't think I'll connect it to this video. But if you look at my playlist, I believe it's in the debate of the week. Or mixed bag of wrestling. I can't remember right now. But you look it up. The Uso brothers. I did a video on them and why they should already be tag team champions. They looked good in the beginning of that match. They brought the world's strongest man to his knees and then on his back and got two. I count them, two. Oof. Not right. They could have used someone else. But then I realized later when it comes to Ryback why they didn't. But the Usos looked good until they got their asses squashed twice each. They got inducted to the Hall of Fame. I was fucking angry. I said, damn. Motherfuckers, they couldn't use someone else from NXT or Superstars or whoever the fuck. They had to use a good tag team. And that pissed me off. But I have to say, Mark Henry looked dominant. He's saying, that's what I do every day, which is good. Ryback. Who did he go up against? 3. And I originally thought, when I heard it was 3, I thought, this is what I originally thought. Zack Ryder, Justin Gabriel, and Kofi Kingston. I really thought they were going to let Kofi job again. But it looks like they decided to let him have a break for once. So it was the Great Khali. No, I'm sorry. I really am not thinking properly. I'm really not thinking properly. That's with the Shield. I'm so sorry. I told you I'm really not feeling well. Forgive me. With Ryback, it was 3MB. I'm so sorry. I took some medicine earlier, and I am getting things more confused than I usually do when I get nervous and excited. I'm sorry. The 3MB versus Ryback match. Forget what I said. I'll be bringing them in a minute when it's a Shield against those guys. But Ryback looked dominant. He does a double shell shock with Jinder Mahal and Heath Slater. It was actually nice to see Drew not have to job here. He has jobbed so much for so long. It's sad to see him getting punished for what happened a long time ago with his wife. I really feel sorry for him. A part of me really wants him to leave and go to TNA. Because he's not being utilized. He's a big guy that has potential. But it was good to see those guys job instead of the great one, the Sinister Scotsman. When you see 3MB shown on the screen with their pose, it's always Drew first, then Heath Slater, and then Jinder Mahal. It's always Drew first, because even if they're fucking with him and punishing him, he's always got to be first because they know he has the best potential. Now, I'm sorry about what I did earlier. The Shield versus, and this is what I did think, and like I said earlier, I did think this. I thought it was going to be Kofi. I thought it was going to be Zack Ryder and Justin Gabriel. It was Great Khali with Zack Ryder and Justin Gabriel. It was good to see the Shield dominant. And then seeing a triple powerbomb on a Great Khali was a nice, wonderful touch of strength until the All-Stars came out with a Sheamus, with a Randy Orton right by each other's side. Like I said, I think they're going to be a tag team sooner or later. And then a Big Show coming up behind them. There was no point in doing that. It wasn't. It wasn't necessary. They could have just done the interview, and I will get to the interview in a moment, but they could have just done the interview and that would have been it. But they went to that ring and kicked their ass, and then they showed them being totally united. Now, I did say this weeks ago that probably might happen. That they'll do something together that's going to bring them together. I realize that Ryback is not going to be the one that's going to be working. It's going to be the Big Show. And then what happened after, I think it was after the Triple H, no, forget that. But the interview with Sheamus. I can't remember when the interview with Sheamus happened. But the interview with Sheamus, when he got his ass kicked, Orton got his ass kicked, and then the Big Show coming out to save their ass, that's when they could have finally been a tag team then. A triple team, you know what I mean. They could have had it then. Not in the ring. I wanted to see the Shield stay dominant. But seeing that kind of negated it for me, personally. Now, I did say ADR. I said Wade with The Miz. Primetime players, Triple H. Already talked about Fandango with Chris Jericho, which I'm very happy about. The Dancing Giants versus Rogue Scholars. Again, we get a repeat of a match that happened before, but this time we had an actual ending of it. Now, I said that there's a possibility that we're going to have a feud between two tag team women. The Bellas versus the Funkadactyls. It still could happen if it doesn't happen at WrestleMania. With Rogue Scholars and the Dancing Giants, as I call them, instead of calling the Dancing Bears, it just doesn't sound right. Sweet Tea and Brodus Clay lose. Brodus Clay jobs to a Cody Rhodes. And if you didn't see my SmackDown review of Cody's ring boner, you should go back and check it. If anyone has never seen it, look and see for yourself for my SmackDown review of Cody's ring boner, because he was like that because the Bellas were there. They were good looking women. I'll get a ring boner near a Naomi any day. But you know what I'm saying. My feelings about this is that there will be a WrestleMania, maybe pre-show match between either the Bellas and the Funkadactyls or the Rogue Scholars and the Dancing Giants. If it's not there, maybe it will be in the show actually. You never know with the WWE. Currently, I believe they have about 7 matches already announced. I will probably be doing, if I can, get a pay-per-view predictions done. I haven't done one in quite a while, so I'll see if I can. But it's been quite difficult lately. I've been very busy, and getting sick makes it worse. Now, finally, we get to the end. Like in my title, we got the debate, Rock and Cena. I can say honestly, the debate in the very beginning and the middle dominated by Rock. That's the truth. Now, having Mick Foley, having Booker T, having, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, I dine with kings and queens and eat lima beans. I mean, pork and beans actually, but I said lima beans. And Bret Hart was actually a very nice touch. Giving them the opportunity to talk really felt more interesting to me. It really did. I wish they had been able to talk more, but they were at the end of the show. They actually went over 11 o'clock, which was understanding. I had to make it short. The Rock talking in the beginning and the middle dominated it. Whatever Cena said earlier just felt empty. Because I said it before and I said it again. He's never shown a sense of true loss. He's always been, I'm going to rise above that. I'm going to be able to handle it. I'm not going to let that get me down. That was the problem I saw. Like I said, once he showed how pissed he was when it came to John Laurinaitis beating him when the Big Show turned on him. And that was last year. And he acted all pissed and everything, but he didn't show enough substance. And I believe the Off the Rope show said this. And I know a lot of people are mad about the Off the Rope show. I may say something at the end of the review about that. But you know what? At the end of this debate, I felt finally they're allowing Cena, or Cena finally decided, you know what, I should show more emotion. He's saying what he said, gave it finally a little bit better depth in his character. And this makes me think, because so many people on the internet and YWC and IWC and I think certain fans that are casual have been demanding a change in Cena. Could this be a possible twisting of Cena using The Rock? Now this is a tease because you saw at the end he really started showing some type of heel tendency. Not a lot, but a little. But the question is this. Is the WWE willing to twist Cena into pretty much into a pretzel to get him to become a heel, to make something more interesting for the product. Cena has been a face for many years now. And many people, and so many people say there's no way they're going to turn him heel. They have no faces that are strong enough to handle him. But you know what? I'm thinking this, and I'm probably wrong, but if they're going to let The Rock keep the title past WrestleMania, but then eventually Rock will drop the strap to someone else, or probably Cena when he turns heel, what will we get? Well, we'll get a heel Cena. Maybe it'll last for a little while, and then we'll get probably a face Cena again. But if we got a turn in a heel of a Cena at a WrestleMania, it will actually be quite a big surprise. And using The Rock as a catalyst for that, because of what happened last year, would actually be a very nice touch. If The Rock does not lose this title at WrestleMania, it will shock everyone, because everyone believes Cena's going to win that title. And probably he will win. I'm probably wrong about this. But if I'm not wrong, and they use The Rock to turn Cena heel, because there's no one that's viable enough to do it anyway, it would actually be a perfectly good touch for 2013. Yes, a good chance they'll switch him back to a face by the end of the year. Probably happen. They're not going to leave Cena heel for a while because they know kids love Cena. But you know what? It may actually bring in the adult fans, and the numbers could go up. You never know. You don't know. I don't think he's going to go back to the basic thugonomics thing. No. But I do believe if they do turn him heel, if it does happen, it will be a pleasant surprise from the WWE, a shocking one. So let's just see in 13 days. My rating for the show, a B. It's actually quite good. A lot of things were done that I did enjoy quite nicely. Don't like the primetime players getting screwed. We still don't know what's going to happen with Antonio. Thinking that AJ and Caitlyn could happen really upsets me, but it could happen. The debate was actually quite good at the end, particularly with the rock bottom, seeing Cena feeling and looking just heelish a little bit. Does that mean he's going to turn heel? I'm probably wrong, and I don't believe I am even right anyway. They've been teasing this for years, so I don't believe it. So it is a B. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Subscribe and comment to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, it's the best I can give you. Now, I did say I wanted to say something about the Off the Rope show and what happened to him. I'm going to make it brief, that I myself fell into the silliness of the internet saying what could have happened. I could have thought someone hacked his site. I don't know what happened. Who knows? I was silly enough to actually listen to them. For me personally, I've already left a comment when it was on the Off the Rope show's Off the Rope show center saying, look, I'm depressed. I still am. Even though I look really happy and stuff, I'm working through depression. And I said before, the Off the Rope show has helped me. Because, one, they let me connect my videos to them, which I'm very grateful and thankful. Two, I learned something from them because of what they said. They said, if you want to do something, do it because you're passionate about it. I watched them for about a year before I started doing these videos. At least almost over a year and a half, before I myself started doing videos. Because they inspired me to do it. If they can do it and they look like average guys, why couldn't I? So that was, for me personally, I wanted to see them succeed. I still do. And for me personally, when people started saying, you know, the Slick Daddy's dead and everything, rest in peace, I was actually very concerned. Not because I didn't see my content anymore of good wrestling reviews, but because I cared about the guys. It's not just going on these shows, watching these shows. You're not just invested in the shows, you care about the people. Because these guys taught me something, I was very appreciative of it. And for me personally, thinking that something could have actually happened, because I looked onto Twitter, I looked into Facebook, and nothing was going on until at least a day and a half later, when the Slick Daddy said, I'm perfectly fine, that basically the words about the talk about my death is grossly a lie. I was happy. And I sent 2 emails giving my condolences, because really, to me, I really care about people. And then apologizing later, realizing that I was stupid enough not to really be patient and wait. And I can be honest that a part of that's my depression. I'm not lying. I am depressed. I have depression. I'm going to doctors for that. So I just wanted to show that I cared. But the Off the Rope Show's Off the Rope Show Central video, they were right. We should have waited to see if it was true. It would have been announced. And I'm no different from them. And if they see this, dudes, I'm sorry. I admit I'm depressed. I jump more quicker than normal. I would usually try to be more patient and wait to find out, but I can't, you know? So, like I said, this was a B show. That's my thoughts on the Off the Rope Show. Subscribe and comment. And I hope you like this video. You have a good day.